Hey Cancers, I hope you guys are doing great. We are here to do your self-love reading where we take a peek at where you are in your self-love journey and figure out how you can do more or be better in terms of honoring yourself. So, jumping right in for where you are right now and how you view yourself, we have the Three of Voices or the Three of Swords in reverse. This is a card of healing, is what I feel like. So, where I think you are on the journey is in a place of forgiving, whether that's forgiving other people or forgiving yourself for situations that you have encountered in the past. This is something that some level of disappointment that you've experienced previously that you are now sort of in the process of moving on from, that you are in a place of beginning to heal. It's been, I think, a very slow process for you, and I think at some point you may even be in a place where it's kind of like, am I ever going to get past this? Can I move on from this? And how to do it. So I think that there is a lot of good intent behind where you are right now, where you're trying to go, but maybe a little bit of frustration that the process is not moving along as quickly as you'd hope that it would. Or, in some ways it's like, well, I'm putting in all of this effort, this should be done by now, but it's not quite there. So it feels like you're in the midst of, a process of healing that you are really working to get past these challenges that you've experienced before. It seems like it's a little bit difficult for you, though, to sort of prioritize your own needs. There's a lot of interesting energy happening right here. So we have the Queen of Wands in reverse. We have the Six of Cups in reverse. And we also have the Page of Wands upright. So what it feels like is that the one thing that's sort of keeping you from focusing on yourself and going forward are these thoughts from the past that once upon a time in a land not so far away, the Cancer Collective was super, super optimistic and super excited about something that they really wanted to happen. And I don't think that it quite worked out the way that you wanted it to. And so there's this tendency now, I think, where you constantly revisit the past, trying to get whatever lesson that you can out of what it is that happened. And I don't necessarily think that that's a bad thing. If you've watched my videos before, you know that I'm not necessarily an advocate of the blanket, everything happens for a reason. I think sometimes shit just happens, but if you're so inclined, you can probably get a lesson out of it if you so desire. But I think in this case, Cancer, you've probably gotten as much of a lesson as you can out of the situation. And now it's almost like trying to squeeze blood from a rock. It's like, baby, there are no more lessons for you to learn. It's time to move on. But I think that there's a little bit of hesitancy. There's a little bit of reluctance to even start focusing on the future and getting excited about it because you don't want to end up in the same place of disappointment that you were in previously, that you're sort of healing from now. And so showing yourself that you're worthy of being in a different place in life, it's interesting. It's actually going to take you being a little bit more vulnerable and open than where you've been and where you are currently. So we have Strength in reverse, we have the Emperor in reverse, and we also have the Two of Cups in reverse. So I feel like, Cancer, that you're in a place now where it's like, well, I'm not moving forward unless and until I am 100% sure and guaranteed that I'm going to get everything that I want. I'm not making a move until I see something that I absolutely love. But what I'm feeling is that in order for you to move on, you're going to have to let go of a little bit of that control that you want to have over whatever it is that happens next. So allowing yourself to be vulnerable, allowing yourself to be open to the possibilities, to the opportunities that come your way, is going to sort of show you that things will be fine, that there are good things waiting for you. But it feels like right now you're not 100% open to what could be. And so I feel like asking yourself why you're so nervous, figuring out how to sort of get out of that energy, being more vulnerable, is going to allow things to sort of come in for you. But there's this wall up. There's this protective barrier. It's like, nope, nope, nope. We are not going through this again. I absolutely refuse. But you're not going to be able to see the wonderful things that come in until you loosen the reins just a little bit, just a smidgen. In terms of showing up more authentically in your life, because I don't think that this is necessarily comfortable for you. I think that it's almost like PTSD, right? Where you've been so affected by these situations in the past that you were trying to protect yourself at all costs. It's almost as if you're cutting off opportunities before they have the opportunity to come into you. And so a way of sort of living in a manner that's more comfortable, that's more true to the path that you're supposed to be on, we have the Ace of Swords in reverse, and we also have the Seven of Pentacles. So what I'm feeling is that Spirit is saying for you, Cancer, don't be so quick to cut things off. Don't be so quick to say no. That there is an element of patience in you moving forward. This is not, I think, a situation where it's particularly necessary for you to take this huge leap of faith. But what I'm hearing more is baby steps, planting little seeds and just waiting and seeing how they come to fruition, seeing which areas of your life, of yourself, that you need to give more attention to, be a little bit more nurturing to, seeing other areas that it's like, okay, yeah, I don't think that that's going to bear anything, so let me go ahead and take a step away from that. So I feel like Spirit is saying that now is the time for you to open up and start planting these seeds and just give it a chance. Give it a chance to see what happens with those seeds that you're planting, instead of having this sort of knee-jerk reaction based on, past trauma or past disappointment, past hurt, and cutting it off before it even has a chance. You might also think, Cancer, about letting go of the anxiety, the stress that you've been experiencing. And we saw that up here, right? In opening up a bit more and being more vulnerable in terms of exploring opportunities and offers that may come your way. So letting go of some of that control, leaving that anxiety behind, and not always looking for instant finality, I guess, is probably a good way to say it, right? Over here we had the Seven of Pentacles, this sort of planting and waiting to see what sprouts up. This is Spirit saying, with the Justice card in reverse too, the universe is really trying to get across that you don't have to have all of the answers right now. You don't necessarily in this moment, because I think that that's what's leading to this stress that you've been under, is sort of have this perfect sort of roadmap laid out in front of you, where each step, and you have like an iron grip on the outcome every step of the way. Spirit is saying it's time to let go of the reins a little bit and just watch and see what happens, because trying to have this level of pressure, this level of influence over, what it is that you want and the how of getting there is just causing a whole lot of stress. And I think that can ultimately lead to disappointment going forward. Because if things aren't unfolding exactly in the way that you think that they should, it feels like there's a lot of frustration around that, instead of sort of trusting the process and just seeing where things take you. Now, what you may not know, what you don't see, what you probably should know, we have the Seven of Swords in reverse, and we also have the Four of Cups upright. So I think that there is going to come a point where you are able to sort of let go of this stress, of this anxiety that you've been experiencing, and you're going to open yourself up a little bit more to exploring the possibilities, the potential of what could be, of things that come into your life, of the path that you're on. It feels like a lot of the resistance is going to sort of fade away from these situations. And what I do see with the Four of Cups is that you are going to be still discerning with offers that are coming into you, but with the Page of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck, this is something that's coming into you. This is a signal of abundance. It's going to show you that you are on the right track. One of these seeds that you've planted is going to be ready for the harvest. I feel like it might come in a way that's different than what you may have initially expected, but it's coming nonetheless. It's going to be a direct result of you sort of letting go of this resistance, letting go of this control, this stress that you have over trying to steer the situation exactly the way you have it sort of envisioned in your head. So looking at the final messages from Spirit, the first card that we have out is protection. Call back your power, cut the cords, and soul retrieval. So this is a sense of you being protected from this level of disappointment that you experienced before. Remember, we mentioned early on in the reading about potentially learning lessons from any situation that we're in right now, right? And so I think that this is you having learned the lessons that you need to, that's going to allow you to be more discerning about the things that come your way without you necessarily having to have a tight grip on it. And so in doing that and sort of loosening that up, you're going to be able to pour that energy back into yourself. You're going to sort of give up this resistance that you've been feeling when it comes to manifesting the things that you want, living the life that you want, all of that good stuff. It's calling you back into you, where it's like, I'm smarter, I'm wiser, I know what to keep an eye out for, but I don't need to control every single piece of how things unfold going forward. As long as I keep the end game in mind, right, then I'm okay. And the universe is protecting me. So I don't have to worry about this energy coming into my space again. Now, the final message that we have for you is good things to come. There are so many amazing gifts coming my way. I can't see them now because I respect the general convention of not peeking under wrapping paper, but they will show up when the time is just right, and that's when I'll remember how much fun it is to be surprised. So what we saw over here with the Page of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck, Cancer, is that there are good things coming towards you. You're going to start seeing those signals of abundance that you've been working for, that you've been hoping for, that you've been planting seeds for. And just like this says, there's no peeking under the wrapping paper. This is you letting go, stepping back, letting things unfold, because you have this end vision, and you trust that it's going to unfold how it needs to, when it needs to get you to that thing that you're dreaming of. So let go of the reins a little bit, Cancer, and trust that good things are on its way. So I'm going to leave it there for you. I hope that this was helpful, and I hope that it resonated. If it did, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. But in the meanwhile, stay safe, stay healthy, And I am sending you all huge hugs.